motion, and in my preamble, allow me to make a clarion call and clarify that the motion being tabled this afternoon is to allow for optional partial access to lump sum retirement benefits under the NAPSA Act in a structured and sustainable manner without compromising the long-term viability of the pension fund. Madam Speaker, at the center of this motion are over 1.1 million Zambian contributors, workers who give a portion of their monthly salaries every month without fail. For many of them, their pension contributions are the only structured savings they'll ever accumulate in their productive years. Yet under the current legal framework, these contributors are locked out from accessing any portion of their funds until they either reach retirement age or exit employment permanently. Madam Speaker, I move this motion not to dismantle NAPSA, not to drain pension savings, but to introduce a choice. Because pension contributions are not a burden on the state. They are personal savings deducted from personal savings. This motion is guided by three principles, Madam Speaker. The first principle is optional access. No one is compelled. Contributors decide whether or not they want to access a portion of their funds at retirement stage. Sustainability. The proposal safeguards actuarial integrity, ensuring the fund continues to grow in value and capability. Preservation of retirement income. The remaining balance to earn investment returns to secure dignity post-retirement in monthly annuities. Madam Speaker, the House will agree that the 1.1 million active NAPSA contributors are workers who have labored, sacrificed, and contributed faithfully to our national pension system. And this includes the 3.3 million registered NAPSA members. They are not numbers. These are teachers, they're miners, they're nurses, they're police officers. These are ordinary Zambians whose lives sustain this economy, and it is incumbent upon this House to take a collective decision. Madam Speaker, our motion is not calling for dismantling of NAPSA for purposes of repetition. Our motion is not calling for reckless withdrawals. Our motion is not calling for the collapse of the pensions. We are calling for one thing, choice. The motion calls for partial lump sum access at retirement while maintaining monthly pension structure and ensuring the long-term sustainability and strength of NAPSA. This motion protects both the contributor and the institution. Madam Speaker, NAPSA belongs to the workers. A pension is not a favor. A pension is not a privilege. A pension is deferred income earned over 30 to 40 years of service. All the millions of workers are asking from this honorable House this afternoon is if the money is mine, then the decision must be mine too. Our proposal gives retirees the dignity to access part of their money when they need it the most, while preserving a monthly pension to safeguard their future and the sustainability of the institution. Madam Speaker, we rise today not to break the system, but to improve it. Madam Speaker, upon retirement, partial access unlocks household liquidity. When households have liquidity, they spend. When they spend, businesses grow. Jobs are created, tax bases increase. The multiplier effect of liquidity is developmental and not extractive. Allow me to provide a regional context, Madam Speaker. Countries such as Kenya, Namibia, South Africa, Botswana have adopted partial pension access reform. These countries did not collapse their pension systems. Instead, they achieved three outcomes. Number one, increased contributor confidence. Number two, increased compliance. Number three, increased pension fund assets. Why? Because people are more willing to contribute to a system that acknowledges their needs in real time upon retirement. Madam Speaker, we propose a structure of optional partial access with a cap. The amount access is limited, a percentage of accumulated contributions, leaving the remaining balance to continue compounding interest. This ensures that post-retirement contributors will have an income in the form of monthly annuities. Let me emphasize, this motion does not introduce a full withdrawal. It does not promote reckless depletion of pensions and does not undermine investment returns. Under the current regime, Madam Speaker, the worker suffers twice: deductions throughout their entire life, as well as the financial strain at the point of retirement when they are transitioning into a new phase without financial flexibility. The current minimum amount of our national average earning annuitant is 1,800 kwacha per month. What can a retiree do with this money? This is part of the elephant in the room this afternoon. Madam Speaker, the question before this House is simple and yet critical. Should retirement savings save the worker only through monthly annuities averaging 1,800 per month, or should also provide flexibility at the point of retirement through an optional lump sum? If our pension system is to reflect the lived reality of our people, then it must evolve. Madam Speaker, under the current framework, when a contributor dies and leaves behind biological children above the age of 21, that child is automatically locked out from accessing the parents' benefits, even if they are still in college, university dependent, or not yet economically independent. Madam Speaker, education in Zambia does not end at 21, and life certainly does not become financially easier after a parent passes away. This is not just a policy gap, it is an injustice. Families already dealing with emotional trauma of loss should not be subjected to financial hardship imposed by the very system meant to protect them. NAPSA should never be an institution that says to a biological child of a deceased contributor, we have your parents' money, but we cannot give it to you because you are 21. Madam Speaker, that does not reflect social security. That reflects bureaucratic insensitivity. The policy must reflect the reality of today's education journey and the financial vulnerability that follows. Our pension system must protect families and not add to their pain. Madam Speaker, I heard of an argument that retirees should not be allowed to access partial lump sum at retirement because many of them make bad investment decisions. This is precisely why financial literacy is a critical pillar of this motion, to ensure that contributors are empowered with knowledge to make informed decisions. However, Madam Speaker, we have to be honest and fair. It is not only individuals who sometimes make bad investment decisions, even pension funds do. NAPSA has in the past made investment decisions that did not yield the expected returns. A case in point is the National Building Society Business Park. This investment has consequences. Some businesses that occupied the property, including major employers such as Hilton Hotel and Pick and Pay, exited or downsized operations. Some employees were even declared redundant as a result. The very contributors whose funds invested in this scheme. Madam Speaker, this example demonstrates two realities. Number one, bad investment decisions are not exclusive to individual retirees. Number two, a well-structured institution like NAPSA is capable of misallocating funds too. Therefore, the argument that retirees cannot be trusted to manage their own money cannot stand. This afternoon, Madam Speaker, the clarion from this House is that we stand with the workers and support this motion. Madam Speaker, I so submit.
Thank you very much. Does the seconder wish to speak now or later?
Now, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Mufurira.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for according me this opportunity to second this very progressive and non-controversial motion, ably moved by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Kanchiwia, Honorable Sande Chanda. Madam Speaker, from the onset, let me state that as the mover of the motion has put it, this motion is not about dismantling NAPSA as it is now. It is aimed at modernizing the way the pension system, the statutory pension system under NAPSA is managed. Yes, the people who framed this NAPSA law in 2000 had the circumstances and events as they existed at that time. But with the passage of time, a lot of changes have happened economically and socially in our country. And the retirees of now and in the future are not in the same situation as the retirees were when the NAPSA Act was established. This motion, Madam Speaker, is about urging the government to provide for access, option access to partial or lump sum payment upon reaching the pensionable age. Yes, for some people, they may argue that we are actually pushing an open door with this policy, but Madam Speaker, yes, the door may be open, but it's partially open for some, it is also closed for others. The current NAPSA Act under Section 18 provides for the conditions under which one obtains the pension. One is that they must reach the pensionable age, and the second is that they must have contributed not less than 180 monthly contributions. Meeting these conditions, among others, then one would qualify for a lifetime pension under NAPSA. That is Section 18. But Madam Speaker, if you go to section 21 of the NAPSA Act, that's where I'm saying this door is partially open and partially closed for others.
Order. As the time is 16:40 hours, I suspend business for 20 minutes for health break.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Are you watching Parliament Television, the only station dedicated to bringing Parliament closer to you? Now, business has been suspended for 20 minutes health break. And under consideration is a private member's motion moved by Kanchivia Member of Parliament, Mr. Sanjay Chanda. The motion is titled, Introduce Optional Access to Lump Sum Retirement Benefits under NAPSA. That this House urges the government to reform the retirement benefit structure under National Pension Scheme Authority to allow contributors have the option of accessing lump sum payments upon retirement. And this motion is being seconded by Mufurira Member of Parliament, Mr. Gordon Wheeler.
Another private member's motion that was moved earlier did come from Mr. Katsape Solwezi East Member of Parliament, and it was seconded by Lundazi Member of Parliament, Ms. Brenda Nyirenda, and the motion was titled, Introduce a Legal and Policy Framework to Regulate the Provision of In Vitro Fertilization, that's IVF, and fertility services. That this House urges the government to introduce a legal and policy framework to regulate the provision of in vitro fertilization and fertility services, and this motion has been duly adopted. And just about now, a quick look at what has been considered thus far.
Yes, indeed. So business did commence at 14:30 hours, and Madam Speaker did make two announcements. In the first announcement, Madam Speaker did recognize the presence in the Speaker's Gallery of 8 members of staff from the National Assembly of Kenya, led by Mr. Benson Insovu Mari, First Clerk Assistant, Legislative and Procedural Services, and leader of delegation. And Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, did welcome the visitors to the institution.
Madam Speaker also did recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Eastview School Limited in Lusaka, and she equally welcomed the visitors in our midst. We did see the Minister of Transport and Logistics, Honorable Tayali, present or deliver ministerial statement on government's interventions to ensure the safety of motorcyclists on public roads countrywide. The details regarding that particular statement will be given to you a little bit later. Just about now, we take a break. Stay tuned.
Utukashana tumoto wa mulomo kave papa kafumapo kave panapa kafumapo evo katete. Utukashana tumoto wa mulomo kave papa kafumapo kave panapa kafumapo evo katete. No tulumendo chimo chine kave papa kafumapo kave panapa kafumapo evo katete. No tulumendo etwachilamo kave papa kafumapo kave panapa kafumapo evo katete. Katete katwalo bufikwisano kalya katete katete katwalo bufikwisano